If people can't hear without someone preaching, the next question we should ask comes out of Romans 10:15. And how are they to preach unless they are sent? So what does it mean to preach? Well, nobody had a more impactful preaching ministry than Jesus himself. Preaching more than healing or ministering seemed to be the priority of Jesus' ministry. We read in Matthew 4:17, "From that time Jesus began to preach and to say, 'Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.'" To preach is the same Greek word for a herald's proclamation from a king. A herald was an ambassador that would bring a message to be proclaimed on behalf of that king. Now, in the case of Christ, he was bringing a message on behalf of God the Father. And this is exactly what it means to preach, to proclaim the message of God as his herald. It would be easy to look at the role of those who preach and covet the role in this whole thing, devaluing other roles. But as we shared in the beginning, we all have a part to play. This reminds me of 1 Corinthians 3, where Paul plants the seed of the gospel, Apollos comes along and waters it, but it's God who is making it grow. God brings the gospel to life in the lives of the unreached. Those who preach and those who send are each a part of the process.
Hi, I'm Nora. I'm just a few weeks away from moving to Central Asia to serve as a missionary among the unreached.
It is not a bright and shiny call moment. It really started as one step of obedience after another. That's the only way I can describe the last 16 years of my life. I've wanted to be in this kind of work for a while now, but the Father has been really good to hone in and refine exactly what my definitions are, exactly what I see the task is, and convict me that I am not just going to a place in the world because there are lost. Yes, I mean, there are lost all over the world. I'm going because I've been commanded to. So I want to obey. This region specific really came from a desire to see not just the unreached, but the unengaged, engaged. From what I know, that means around 3,200 groups of people left in the world that are the hardest to reach. And so I knew that with my status in life right now, my health, the skill sets I've been given, my age, I am best suited to go to a difficult place to live. And so with that in mind, I also know that one of the fastest and more deeply rooted movements in the world is Islam. And so I knew I really wanted to see a group of people that was rooted in that come to faith. What I'll be doing in this place first really does look educational. I will be on a student visa in order to learn the trade language. That will take me around 3 years. My teammate who's coming with me, she's a little further along. She will also be on a student visa. She may even take on further education. She might take on a master's degree. In the time that we'll be studying the trade language, we will be located in a city at a university where many students who represent those groups of people will also be going. So a lot of those groups of people in the region we want to be in will be represented at the school we'll be attending. So simultaneously learning the first language, we will be looking for access points into the second one. That looks like business formation. That looks like seeking out relationships with businesses that might already be established. It looks like team building. My teammate and I are not a full team, and we are not yet attached to one. So a team needs to form, and that might come after business is built. We don't know yet. There are people there who have never had access. They've never had a chance. They've never had someone come and tell them, I know who the Creator is, really. I know who formed you and your language, really. I know who it is that gives you access to God without needing to perform any works, really. There have been generations, there have been centuries of people in these people groups who have lived their lives under oppression, and they will live the next life under even worse oppression. And so the way that God has designed this task is that if there are those who are willing to obey the call and go, learn that language and learn how they can then share the gospel with this people. Scripture says that those are really beautiful feet because they bring the best news. They bring the hope of salvation to this people.
God's normal way of bringing people to Jesus Christ is through the preaching of the gospel. But in order for one to preach, they need to be sent. But how will they be sent?